TV, power to transform lives.
Good evening and welcome to another week of Family Life with Mama Rita. Last week we were actually debating what we should do today. I was thinking about doing temperaments, which I will surely do. But then something crossed up during the discussion. We were talking about the children and their choice of schools and their choice of courses and their future and all that. And I decided, since we are just about to write the BECE, we will talk about that. And then I don't know what's going to happen next week. If we don't finish, we will continue next week. And then maybe after next week, we will go into temperaments. Or now that we have started with education, we'll also go on the university level. So welcome our international guest. Please don't think that we have cut you off. We haven't, because I know a lot of people in the diaspora have their children here in Ghana, and at least you need to be well informed. So if you decide that you want to post your naughty son or daughter out there to Ghana, you know exactly what to do. With me today are two wonderful people. Mr. Charles Baidu. Mr. Charles Baidu is the headmaster of Wesley Grammar School. Before being the headmaster of Wesley Grammar, was a teacher in Holy Child School in science and chemistry. And please, don't think I've made a mistake. I haven't made a mistake. There's chemistry and then we have core science. Yes, so please, I have my facts right. And then also with me is my own headmistress. I think you understand. My headmistress, the headmistress of my alma mater, St. Mary's Senior High School, Madam Philomena Owusu Ansa. Also, before she became a headmistress of St. Mary's, my school, she taught in Infantiman core maths. I said, wow, oh, wow. A subject I was running away from. I don't know whether I didn't get a teacher who could let me really like it, but well, I kept running away. And a lot of my friends were running away from mathematics. So she was a teacher in Infantiman. She was also a teacher in Our Lady of Mercy, Tema. Also a core maths teacher in Tema Menya Technical School. Mr. Baidu and Madam Owusu Ansa, you are welcome to Family Life.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And you see, when we talk about family life is not all about sex. Family life is not whether your husband is abusing you or is showing you love. Family life has to do with everything about the family. So right from the day they were born, we've spoken about that, and the kind of different kinds of having children. We've spoken about that, and we have spoken about adolescents and teens, about their training and what we must do as parents and all that. We've spoken about all that. Today we want to look at education. the schools they must choose, and the kind of courses they must choose. But before we go into it, first, I want to say a big welcome. The world is actually listening to you. People are listening to you and watching you from America, from UK, from South Africa, from Nigeria, from Togo. Co-host.
Yes, yes, yes,
From-
yes. We are all over West Africa, Europe, Asia. We are in America, both North and South, Australia, everywhere. They are all logged in. And please, like
And in
Mommy-
Ghana, where are we?
Ghana, from Chirimpune, from Zabzugu, from Tamale, from Choco. Mama Rita knows that place very well.
And
Kopevi,
you know
wherever.
what? I was surprised. I was in Obuasi. And between Obuasi and my hometown, Akokeri, where my father comes from, is just about 18 to 20 minutes. So I decided to pay a visit. Then somebody said, Mama Rita, and it's not a place I go very often, and it's not a place that I'm known. You know, I was going there as a little girl, you know. Since I grew up, I haven't been there in ages. So then when the person said, Mama Rita, I said, where do you know me from? And he said, I know you from the TV. From Family Life. I watch every Wednesday. And my wife loves you. Made me wait to go to the house, go and call the wife to come and say hello. All my people from Akokeri, I want to give you a shout. Thank you for watching Family Life week after week. And then in Obuasi, one of the evenings, I decided to go for a walk. Right in the middle of the road.
Wow.
Somebody stopped right in front of me, knelt down. And you know these days you need to be
You
careful.
have to be careful.
So I said, who are you? Where do you know me from? Then he goes like this, Mama Rita, if you don't pray for me today, I won't let you go. I said, where do you know me? He said, from Family Life. I listen Wednesday after Wednesday. So people are watching us from Obuasi. Oh, last week was fantastic. I enjoyed Obuasi so much. The only thing I didn't get from Obuasi is the gold. And I'm coming back. I'm coming back for the gold in Obuasi. All the pastors in Obuasi that came together to hold Apostle General and myself. I want to give you a shout from Powerline TV from Family Life. Thank you so much. Apostle General and I really, really had a lot of fun. It was such refreshing. And please, if you don't see me in Royal House,
Yes, sir.
and you don't see me in Accra,
Yes, sir.
please, my next station will be Obuasi.
Achiwatana.
Because it was so good. Whew, I don't know where to start from. Mr. Baidu and my headmistress, let me call you my headmistress. Maybe about a year ago, we spoke about adolescents and raising up teenage children. Being people in the education sector, what do we have to do as parents so that our children don't go into drugs, they go into armed robbery, don't go into drinking and all that? Because these days the kind of children that are coming up and are being raised is serious. What do we have to do as parents?
Thank you, Rita, and thank you very much for inviting us to be part of this special program.
And thank you for accepting to come.
Yes, we'll always be here when you call us.
Thank you.
Because it's about our children.
Yes.
The question about our teenage and our children these days needs a lot of time to be talked about, because from where you are standing, you may see it from a different angle.
Yeah.
But when you come to the school, you see it to be something very serious.
Wow.
What we are going through these days, I would say that is because some parents are not supporting the teachers.
Okay.
Our children spend a lot of time with us in the schools.
Sometimes more time.
More time than the time they spend at home. So if you are a parent and you don't have that relationship with the school, then you are trying to make a very big mistake.
Wow.
Why do I say this? Because our children are having different characters. When they are home, they are different.
They are angels.
When they come to school, they are also different. So if you have that relationship with the school, then the child knowing that my mother is always looking for something for me from the school, the child will sit up. But if you don't, the parents are not supporting us, then we are yet to see more wastes in the near future.
Wow. Mr. Beidu.
I'll also add that adolescents or teenagers, they are transitioning between being children and then being adults.
Yeah.
And that is a very, very difficult time. At one point, they behave as adults.
Yeah.
And at another point, they also behave as children. So we need to give them time and listen to them. We need to give them space.
Wow.
We need to have a conversation with them so we understand them and they understand us. Doing that, it will help in getting them out of the things we wouldn't want them to do. But where we want to be straight and strict, because of the conflict between being an adult and being a child, we will have difficulties.
Recently, I heard in the news, in one of the regions, I don't want to mention the region, of course it was on news, that was about 3 or 4 boys from the Ashanti region, one of the schools there, were caught, whether in stealing or in armed robbery case. And then they mentioned their school. So the headmaster was called to come and identify the boys. And he said, yes, these are actually students from my school. In this case, do we blame the parents or we blame the school?
Mama Rita, I'll say we blame, largely the blame will be on the parents. Because I guess from what we all read, one of them, whenever the teacher calls the parent to tell him about what the child does in school, from the parent, the teacher does not like the child. So you realize that whatever the child is doing, the parent has the support. So it makes it difficult for the school to be able to as it were, be blamed.
Wow. Hey, during our time, if your parents are called to the school, you are even scared. When they tell you, I'm calling your parents, you will kneel down and beg. Because right before the teacher and your students and your colleagues, oh my God, they'll give you a palm, 2 slabs.
Now it's not that much.
So you make sure that your parents will not be called again. Now it's not done.
No.
Corporal punishment has been banned in schools.
So basically what is happening these days, as Mr. Baby said, we need to blame the parents in the sense that when their children even flout our rules in the school and we call them, they come and paint the picture that their children are angels. Which means that they don't really know who their children are. And most of the parents don't have time for their children. So as soon as school reopens, the first person to come is that girl or that boy. Then the child, the mother dumps the child in the school, And then next time is when it is visiting. And visiting, bringing
Food.
to the children. The next one is his vacation. Let me pick the child home. So this child knows that the mother doesn't have anything to do with the school. And when the mother comes and you attend, no, my child is not like that.
Wow.
No, my child is not like that. Meanwhile, the child is doing that in the school.
My darling, I hope you are listening. We are to be blamed in the way a manner our children are growing up and the way we are raising them up. You only have two eyes. I always say it. When the children are in school, you don't know what happens. When they see us, they are different. They behave like angels. When they get to school, they are different. So if I were you, when I take them to the school, I will leave them in the hands of the school and tell the teachers, if anything, call me. When my children were in school, I always had one person, without or two, that my children didn't even know, that were looking at them and watching every move. I would always tell the teacher, please keep an eye. Because you are not there 24/7. Even if you are there with a child, my darling, you only have two eyes. What happens behind you, you do not know. So entrust them in the hands of the school so that they can get the best of training. By the time they are out, they would have been, ladies, they would have been gentlemen, they would have been ready for life. But as it is now, either they're on drugs, and I have a school here called School of Restoration. School of Restoration is for ex-convicts, drug addicts, drunkards, social misfits. And if I tell you the kind of schools
They attended.
the kind of schools they attended, I would always ask myself, is it the school to be blamed or the parents?
Like we said, it's our parent, because now a lot of us as parents don't have time for our children. We either leave them in the hands of either house helps or maid servants, or like my sister said, we bring them to school and then we just leave them there. There was a day a boy came to school late. We asked him why. He said he overslept.
He overslept?
Yes. We called the father. The father was defending the fact that he caused the boy to come late. When the boy told us that he overslept. We see that the father was defending because he
trying to
maybe
cover up.
We would punish them.
And you are even teaching the child to lie.
Yeah. So for such a parent, you can see that the kind of training is at variance with what the school is trying to give the child. So this child will grow up and will not fit well in the society. As for the school, we are doing our best, but we need the support of parents to be able to groom these children to come out as good citizens.
So in other words, if the parents give you the support, if the parents give you the license to be able to, punish them where you need to punish them, you can do that.
Yes, because what we do in school is it's between the parent and the school. The school cannot do it without the parent. And the parent can also not do it without the school.
So a shared responsibility?
It's a shared responsibility, that's it. We work together. So when there are issues, we talk to parents. When they also have issues, they talk to us. The two of us come together to mold the child. So we need the support of parents so that our children will grow up well.
I don't want to go into certain areas, but it is well. Let me not go there. But I was thinking that aside the parents, don't we also need the authorities that be to say yes? Parents have entrusted their children with you. So you have the permission, the right, the authority to punish them where they need to be punished, to sack them where they need to be sacked. I mean, in our time, you are even afraid.
Yeah, but mommy, at that time, you realize that parents and the teachers were working
Okay.
together.
Yeah.
You see, so even in any kind of punishment regime, whether whatever it is, we still need to come together
No, but
to make
let's
it
see,
work.
does it mean that the society is getting worse? But because during my time, both parents were working. My mother was working, my father was working. Yet, I mean, if the school called that they needed my mom, she would stop everything, come. And like I said, right before the headmistress or the teacher, even before they listen to the case, they would have given you 2 slaps already. Even before my mother or my father will listen to the case, right before the headmistress. And in those days, headmistress was always right. The teacher was always right.
We have signed on certain conventions, and those things will not be applicable
Wow.
this time. So
Wow.
with the GES, we have what we call positive, positive way of doing things. Our punishment regime, we will have to take into consideration the child's right and a lot of other things.
Wow.
So we draw them together instead of pushing them away.
Yes.
Oh, okay. But can you still let them weed and scrub and sweep as
the
punishment?
things we do at home, we still do it. And then again,
No, I mean as
As a
punishment.
punishment.
yes, you see, we must also look at some of the things. Scrubbing shouldn't be seen if you look at it from the punishment point of view. Even at home, if I'm supposed to be scrubbing, I'll see it as a punishment.
Okay.
So we will have to also look at it very well so that it doesn't also have a negative effect. So we punish lovingly, let me use that word.
So now when the child is naughty, what do? What kind of punishment do you give to the child?
So
Where my children went to school, I mean before Machimota, there's a chair, thinking chair. You will go and sit down. And that in itself was enough. You won't go for break. You go on the thinking chair. Go and think and find out what I did. Was it right or wrong? But if there's no form of punishment at all, then I think that...
Mommy, I think in the past we were being punished, but now I think like Mr. Bedu said, there's a redefinition. Instead of punishment, there's more of discipline and trying to guide behavior.
Yes, so I'm saying that what kind of discipline?
Oh, mommy, we still punish them.
Okay.
We still punish them.
Okay.
They weed, they
Okay.
scrub, they do all the
Okay.
things that we're doing. But
Okay.
what they are trying to say, or what the policy is trying to say, is that punishment shouldn't affect the child's classroom activity.
Okay,
So
which is right.
Yes. So if you want to punish the child, it should be done after school.
Okay,
After
That
school,
one is perfect.
You have
The
to
child doesn't
do
need
that
to lose contact hours.
contact hours.
okay.
So-
I think that one is perfect.
So we
that
do
one is
punish
perfect.
them. We punish them.
Okay.
And there have been pockets of incidents where some teachers have actually abused that power of punishing students. I remember at one time in our class, a teacher actually gave blows to a student for not writing notes.
Wow.
Yes.
So these are some also reported cases of
Okay,
abuse.
why?
So when you are punishing the child, it should be a corrective measure.
Okay.
So the child is doing it, and maybe the next time she wouldn't like to go into that thing
Okay,
again.
okay.
It shouldn't be such that after the punishment, nothing good will come out of it. So this is what we do. We are still punishing them.
And then there's something I always say. Do we try to probe into the background of the child to find out why the child is behaving in the way he or she is? At the time I went to school, my teachers thought I was too naughty. But what they didn't know was that I had a problem at home. My father had had an accident. We had lost everything within a twinkle of an eye. What to eat was even a problem. What to wear was a problem. How to pay our school fees. My mother became a father and a mother at the same time. So I went to the school very worried. And like you said, between being a child and growing up as an adult, there's so much confusion going on in your life. Sometimes there's identity crisis. What is going on in my life? You are thinking about your books. You are sitting in the classroom, yet your mind is at home. What is my mom eating? What is my father eating? What is happening to my siblings? So sometimes you end up sounding naughty. But I always say, my headmistress, from my school, there was no teacher who ever called me into her office. Why are you behaving this way? You know, sometimes I think that a talk, I do that all the time here in church. And this time, it's not even the teachers who come to report, it's the parents who will come and tell me, Mama Rita, this child is like this child is like this. And sometimes when you sit the child down, you realize that, oh, maybe she's still wee-weeing her on her bed. And that one in itself is a border. And she thinks that nobody understands her, you know. So I think that there's a lot more the teachers have to do apart from the classroom work.
Yes, Mama. Now we do it. We have the guidance and counseling department in most of our schools.
Okay.
So when some of our students go wayward, they also come in to sometimes find out why the child is behaving the way he's behaving. Sometimes if they need to even go home to find out the child's background so we can support. So again, you see, it's the home and the school. So this time we do it.
Okay. I'm not sure if during our time we had...
No, that was why yours was not identified.
Okay.
So, please, I want to add something. Per what you have just said, I quite remember the first time I came into contact with you. You said this.
Oh,
So,
I've said it before.
Yes.
So you see something that is there. I
Yes.
can't forget about it.
So I remember I had a girl,
Okay.
and everybody was saying that she's a naughty girl.
That's right.
So there were times that I called the teachers and I told them that, look, if there's that opportunity for us to be watching a video of what we did when we were kids, some of us will run away before our pen drive is slotted in.
That's true.
That is true. It's
That's
very
true.
true because it is just by God's grace that we are here.
Yeah.
So if there's somebody who is misbehaving or we are not seeing her as the person we want her to be, why can't you call the girl then find out what is happening?
That's right.
So this girl, for instance, I called her one evening at home. And then I realized that she was having a whole lot of issues around her.
Yeah.
The mother is sick. There's no daddy.
That is it.
This one.
That's right.
And so the only person she was soliciting affection from was a boy. And if that boy is there to give her the attention, why not?
Why not?
Why not? So I called the girl and then I spoke to her. I picked her file and I realized that when the girl came to Form 1, she wrote a report. And if you read that report, you will see that the issue even started when she was in Form 1.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
We had to make her a day student. And I said, this girl is not going home. She's not going to be a day student.
Home.
She's not going. For all the rules that we have here, yes, this is the first time somebody is supposed to be a day student and she's not going. Yes, my name should be mentioned. She's not going.
Wow.
So the girls was made
Wow.
to stay in the school, and I just closed my ears to all the things that they were saying. And we provided the money that she
Basic
needed
things.
to buy her items for the practicals, and she's still in school.
Wow.
I believe if we had pushed her out,
She would
wouldn't.
have.
Yes.
And
So-
forever this girl will remember
So
you.
this, just as you said, some of them are behaving because they want attention, and they are not getting it. So for us teachers, this is an eye opener.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to
Yeah.
get them closer
Yeah.
to us and
Yeah.
then know what is happening
Yeah.
in their lives,
Yeah.
and they will open up to us.
Yeah.
So thank you for bringing your issue in. We will take it and then we will talk to our teachers. We will continue talking to our teachers.
Oh, unfortunately, so soon we have to break, and immediately we come back, we are going to go into the kind of schools we must choose and then the courses. And they would run us through from the BECE level and all that. Please, if you have questions for Mr. Beidu and my headmistress, please let your questions flow. And I keep saying, don't wait for them to leave before you ask me the questions. We'll be back.
Ready for your glory, ready for your favor, ready for your
Royal House Chapel presents the Common Glory Convention 2022. It is the gathering of all believers to receive an impartation to do exploits and walk in glory. Speakers: Apostle General Sam Kranchi Ankra, Bishop Dominic Alote. Also featuring our MOG Music, Pastor Pa Chairman Team, Pastor Kofar. Date: Wednesday 28 September to Sunday 2nd October, and the time is 6 p.m. each night. Venue: the Oil Dome or Bechabi Lamte Interchange. The services will be live on Facebook at Sam Kranchi Ankara, on YouTube at Powerline TV, and on your favorite Christian television channel, Powerline TV. It's the Common Glory Convention 2022. Don't miss out.
Welcome back to Family Life with Mama Rita. With me today is Mr. Charles Beidu, the headmaster of Wesley Grammar School in Accra. And also with me is my own headmistress, Madam Philomena Owusu Ansan. They are helping us with how to handle our children. And if you are listening to me today as a parent, please, there's a proverb that says that one person brings forth a child, but when it comes to the training of that child, it can't be one person anymore. I always say that gone are the days where in the neighborhood, everybody was an auntie and everybody was an uncle. I mean, if you tried to run from your parents and wear some dress out, an auntie in the neighborhood will call you, sometimes give you a knock and say, when you were coming out of the house, did your mother see you? Are you sure your mother saw this dress? I mean, people had time in those days. Will pull you by the ears, take you to the house and say, did you see your daughter coming out of the house with this dress? Gone are the days when we sat in the public transport where a mother and a father who does not know you from anywhere will call you and say, listen, you're a naughty boy. If you continue like this, this and this and this and this will happen. When you see somebody, rise up, get up. Let them grow. I mean, we were one another's keeper. When we sent our children to school, the headmasters, the headmistress, the housemasters, the housemistresses, the teachers are the keepers of our children. Let's allow them to train up our children for us. Of course, I understand that sometimes there are excesses where some of the teachers, go overboard. But on the whole, I think that if we allow them, they will do very well. Mrs. Beidu, Madam Beidu, I remember right in this church, not outside this church, in this church, somebody came to report somebody's son to me that they think that the guy was on drugs and had just started. So we should work on the boy. So I called the mother, called the one who reported, for her to narrate to the mother. You should see the mother. I refuse it. I refuse it in the name of Jesus. You are by fire, by thunder. You are putting trouble on my son. 10 years down the line, this same mother came to me and said she wanted me to take the son through deliverance because the son was on drugs. I'm sure right at that time, if she had said, okay, I will keep an eye on this boy. Mama Rita, you to work on this boy. The person who came to report, please continue to keep an eye on my child. The boy wouldn't have ended up being on drugs and finally going through rehab. So I think that parents, we have a lot to do about the growing up of our children.
Mommy,
But,
a teacher just sends in a message, says, good evening, Mommy. The heads in your studio are telling exactly what it is on our campuses. The parents are nowadays not working with the teachers because they are following strictly what they term as rules of GES, more than collaborating with teachers. Nowadays, a parent will come to school and fight with a teacher just because a child has been disciplined. This emboldens the child to do worse. I'm a teacher at the basic school, and this is actually worrying.
So you heard from a teacher, it is worrying. My darling, if you want your children to grow up to take over the nations, we need to team up with the teachers, not just the teachers, but even our neighborhoods. Sometimes the people see more than we see. When they go out, I remember in those days when we wanted to go for party, my friends are listening to me, they know it. We are going to school, pick dresses, put it in our bags. Our parents will not see. And then after school, oh, we are somewhere. But sometimes we saw some auntie or some uncle somewhere who will call our parents and tell them, we saw your daughter in Osu. Did you send her to Osu? We come back and we lie anyway.
We send them.
But some way, somehow, they will keep an eye on us. They won't say, oh, you are lying. My daughter can never do that. Anyway, I think that we need to go to our program. Please, I would want you to walk us through the process of preparation from the BECE and as we select our schools and what the process is like. These days, every year, parents are crying. My child chose this school, my child chose this course, and she wasn't given this course. First, the process. What do we have to do from the BECE level? BECE is Basic Education
Certificate
Examination. So that is the examination we write in Ghana. That is the basic level. Maybe you would say BC Form 3 should be
Yeah, J3
J-
is basic 9. I think it will be basic 9.
grade 9. Grade 9. Okay.
Thank you, Mama. This topic is going to help parents this year because for where we sit, sometimes they come to us and when they are weeping, we tend to weep with them. But there's nothing we
There's
can
little you can do.
Yes, to
Wow.
help them. It's all because they don't really follow what they are supposed to do.
Okay.
So we'll start out talk about the plan for the child.
Okay.
Before the child decides or the child goes to SHS, that child might have told the daddy, oh, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a this. So that is the aim of that child. So that first one should be there. Once the child knows what she wants to do, the first hurdle is jump.
Okay.
Now the second one is that this child, what is her strength?
Okay.
Is she very
What
good?
is her strength? I like that.
Is she good? You are a mother or you are a parent. As the child starts from JHS 1, 2, or gets to Form 3, yes, JHS 3, they write a lot of mocks. And it is your duty as a parent to know the performance of that child.
Okay.
So if you know her strength, then that will help you to decide which school she should choose.
Okay.
So if you don't know the strength, that will be a problem for you.
Okay.
So now that you know the child's strength, you also ask yourself, what program is she going to do? If she wants to be a doctor, then she wants to be a science student. If she wants to be this course. And in the SHS, we have the science, we have the business, we have visual arts, home economics,
General arts,
general arts, technical, and all those programs there. So the next one is you want to know the program. And these programs, some schools do not offer them.
Okay.
And even where they offer those courses, the space that they have may be limited. But for some parents, because I attended Infancy Girls, my daughter will have
Must
to
go
to
there by
Infancy
all
Girls.
means.
And so if you have a child who is going to write BECE, the first one is what does the child want to do in the near future?
Okay.
What's the child's interest?
What is the interest?
Okay.
So and then what program is going to help the child to achieve that? You should also know it. The school. What you knew about the school some years ago may not be the same as...
I like that.
Yes.
I
So
like
if
that.
you want to select a school for your daughter, somebody said, if you want to select a school, can you go back to that school and check if what you knew years ago is the same thing that we are having now? So know the schools.
Okay.
Some schools are very good in science, some schools are very good in business, some schools are very good in this one. So
Okay.
know something about the schools before you go in for your choices. Now, after doing all these background study, you now come to the schools. Ministry of Education has grouped our schools into 4.
Yes. A,
A,
B, C,
yes, category
and D.
A, B, C, and D.
Okay.
So in the process of picking your schools, every child is supposed to pick one school, just one school in the grade A schools.
Okay.
And they have a booklet.
Okay.
So you can look through the booklet and then know the schools that fall under A, those ones under B. So you pick one school from grade 1
Okay.
or grade
Grade
A.
A.
Then you go to the grade B schools,
school.
you select 2 schools.
Oh, okay.
And then you go to
Grade.
C,
Okay.
and then you select 2 schools.
Okay.
In
And
all,
select 3.
yes, in all, you are supposed to select 6 schools.
Oh, okay.
6 schools. So you pick one from grade A, 2 from grade B.
Let me just cut in. The grade A schools can only be selected as first choice schools.
Okay.
So you cannot select a grade A school as a second choice. And then the grade B schools, you can select them as either first and or second.
Okay.
That is for a grade B school. If it's your choice, you can select it as your first choice.
Okay.
Another candidate can also select the same school as a second choice, which nobody can do for a grade A school.
Okay.
For the grade C school, you can select it as first, second, and third.
Okay.
And then similarly for the grade D.
Okay.
Okay. So we spoke about the strength.
Yeah.
If you know that your child is not very good, it is not automatic that you should select a grade A school for the child.
Okay.
You can go to the
Grade
B
B
school
school.
and then pick the schools there. If you also know that the child cannot even fit in grade B, you can go to C and select all the schools there.
Okay.
But the last one from D should be a day school within the catchment area.
Oh.
So you should select one school as a day school.
Okay.
And that school should be around your area.
Okay.
Not to select a top day school that you know
No,
far away from you.
Since it's a day boarding,
It's a day boarding.
you can select it.
Oh, okay.
Day boarding.
For example, Achimota School is day boarding. It's a grade A school. So somebody can select Achimota as the compulsory day school selection.
For the last election.
Yes.
The schools they select,
Okay.
there's one compulsory day school.
Whether
Okay.
A, B, C, or D.
Yes.
Okay.
So since it should be within your area,
It doesn't matter whether it's a grade A, grade B.
you are selecting as a day.
Oh, as a day.
Yes.
Oh.
So the child can select that school for the day compulsory day option.
Okay. I have 2 questions here. Maybe it's to both of you. From JHS, that is the junior high school, wouldn't I say it's difficult? For instance, at the time I was at that level, all of us, if you ask us, what do we want to become? All of us are doctors,
Engineers,
engineer.
astronaut.
Isn't it too early for the child? I know not all, some children decide very early what they want to be and they stick to it. But at that level, depending on your upbringing and the home you come from, some children don't even know what they want to be. So wouldn't it be very difficult to say that based on what the child wants to be tomorrow, she chooses a school and then a course?
Since for our educational system for now, you go to the senior high school with a program in mind.
Okay.
So in my opinion, the parent, you look at your ward and the conversations you have with the ward, you'll be able to find a fine line between what the child would wish or would want to do vis-a-vis the child's terminal report and the kind of conversation you also pass by the school on open days to talk to the teachers about. Yes, I agree with you that for some of the children, they have a challenge in identifying what they want to do. But until we are able to navigate through what we have for now, we will go that way.
Okay. My second question on what you said. I have a child, and I think that the child is not too good for a grade A school. Then some way, somehow, the child surprises me. Writes the BECE and makes, now you write 9 subjects, and makes 9 ones. I chose Wesley Grammar for the child. But looking at 9-1s, I think that my child deserves, I need to encourage that child to move on to maybe a grade B or a grade A school. Why can't I change? And this is where my issue is currently with the computer system. Some time ago when we didn't have the computer system, I could go to St. Mary's with my daughter's results and say, headmistress, I thought my child would not do well. So I chose a grade C or a grade D school. But some way, somehow, my child has excelled and I want to encourage her. Can you? Some time ago we can, but now I don't know if it is allowed. Can I go into the computer room? I don't even know where the computer room is. Where can I go to say that?
Mama Rita, this is one of the reasons why we always have challenges with some of our parents. You see them at the Independence Square, not because their children haven't gotten schools.
Okay.
They've been given schools, all right.
Okay.
And they've been given what you are talking about, the school they chose.
That's right.
But parents think that they've done too well, so they should go to a particular school. But again, I think that, well, whatever happened, nobody knows. And are you very, very sure? Because looking at the child's performance, are you very sure that that child is even cut for the grade A school? And if the child selects a grade B, Mama, don't you think that grade B schools or grade C schools also need to be encouraged? That the students, yes, because if the schools are anything to go by, I don't think that that girl from, I think, Kita, the National Science and Maths quiz, would.
That one is very true.
Yes. So the computer school selection program, to me, is good. And our children select their schools, and that is what we must learn, that we make choices. If I have a plan A, I should have a plan B. If I don't get plan A, I go to plan B, I go to plan C, I go to plan D. But that is what, as Ghanaians, we don't want. That we select a particular school and then we forget about the rest. That means my son should go to Infanspring, and that is all. Whether he is cut for Infanspring or not, he should go there. Then I tell the teacher that, oh, you take anything for the second, the third, and the day, choose any school. But like you said, something happens.
Something happens.
And the child does not get the first choice. Then they come to us telling us that, I didn't choose that school.
We will come to that one. I also have a problem with the choice of schools. We will come to that one. But Mr. Beidu, my last born was a bit of a slow learner. She was slow, right from nursery, was slow. Every time I went for teacher-parent, interaction, I was told that she was very slow. Slow in writing, slow in finishing her work. It was always that report. She finishes the primary, goes into secondary, and it was the same thing. At the time, I actually thought, do I go to the hospital, get, like a written whatever to say that she must be given extra time to be able to finish her examination, where outside the country you can do that.
WAEC also allows it.
Pardon?
WAEC allows.
Oh, but I think the parents do not know. A lot of parents do not know. That's why we are discussing all these things. Parents do not know what the risk for our children, that WAEC allows it, that I can go to the hospital and say that my child is too slow.
Yes, when we are registering them, they ask us if the child has some, let me use it for want of a better word, disability or some, yes. And
maybe I do not know.
This is because when parents also bring their children to us in school, some of these things, they don't tell us.
No, you see, maybe I don't know as a parent.
Mama, you are bringing your child to somebody. So if the child, like you are saying that you know your child is slow, and you are bringing the child to...
We should be able to say
yes,
it.
to tell us that, oh, this child of mine, this is the challenge we have.
Okay.
So immediately you tell us. Then we also take interest in what is happening.
Okay.
If not, unless we see it, then we invite you that this is what we've noticed. Before, sometimes the parents will tell us that, oh, yes, it has been something we know.
But
Why?
sometimes the parents don't know it. Well, for the kind of school my child went to, she started there from nursery. So before nursery, it would have been very difficult to know. But then, I don't know whether it was my prayer, it was my fasting, whatever it is. From Form 3, she went through the British system, our system where we did the O-levels. From Form 3, something dramatic happened. She started picking up. Now I go to school for the, teacher-parent interaction, and I'm told that out of 10 people in the class, my child is one of them. I mean, when I got home that day and I mentioned, everybody in the house was shocked, including her siblings. Form 4, she was among the first 5. Form 5, she made the O-level, she made distinction. Went to the sixth form, blew it. Went to a top university. But you see, sometimes what I'm saying is that the child is not encouraged enough. Maybe a bit of a push. Yes, I didn't know my child was going to do well. But finally, she's done very well. I need a bit of competition for that child. Let her get into, if she didn't qualify, it's a different thing. I always have a problem with the parents who don't qualify. And they'll go and pay, I don't know how much. Because the child must go to a certain kind of school by all means. I don't subscribe to that. But where we think that the child has done extremely well, there must be a system where we could push the child a bit. I know, Mr. Bedu, you won't agree with me.
So Rita, let me go back to you asked the question that this child is now growing. How does she know that she wants to be this one, she wants to be that one? I think these days the basic schools are using career days to show these things. So the child is given the opportunity. What do you want? And then the child dresses up like I want to be a nurse. So coming up, they tend to know what they want to do. So as for the once you don't get your placement for the first level, there's no way the computer will do anything about it. There's no way. Maybe that is why we have the protocols. So maybe the protocols can work on that one, but the system itself can never.
It's programmed to work in a particular way.
It's programmed. So once the child makes all the A's, you go to where the child has been placed. So with this selection, we want to tell our parents that as you're also thinking of where the child should go, you need to consider the residential status. That is also another one. That you want Achimota for the first grade A school, but they might not have that space for all the students who are going to apply. And because they use either the grades, the raw score, or whatever, they have a cut-off point.
For their capacity.
Yes, so they get to that point, and you are pushed to your next level. And then parents saying, oh, why the child should have made a day student? No. Once you select a boarding school, that is what will happen. So first choice, you go there, you are not placed. You go to your second choice, you selected boarding, you are not placed. You go to your, so somebody will get 6 ones, but the child will not get a school. The child
Please explain to us again.
So what?
she makes 6 ones.
Yes.
But does not get a school.
Yes, will not get a school. Some had 10. They didn't get schools.
Why?
Why? Because it's either, it can be the program that you selected.
Okay.
So some schools are oversubscribed
Okay.
by parents. So you think St. Mary's, you want to go and do science. There are lots of students. Well, we declare vacancies to to Ministry of Education.
Okay.
Before the students are placed. So to me, I'm only considering maybe 200 students boarders.
Okay.
Now I have about 500 students who are all
Qualified.
yes. So the system will just pick the 200, the best students based on the raw score or the grades, and then the rest will be pushed to the next school.
Okay.
Now this, your second choice, is somebody's first choice.
Okay.
And somebody has made a mark that is higher than what you had.
Okay.
So you go and compete with that child,
Okay.
in the, those people in the second choice.
Okay.
And probably you could have been given a day, but you didn't select day 2.
You
You
chose
selected
boarding for that same and for a particular course,
For a
which is also
particular course.
oversubscribed
They
there.
will not, so you go to your third choice, and that happens there too. Then you go to your day school. So either your day school,
But the day
boarding.
school, you've gone to choose Achimota.
So
Yes, so you,
And they are also choosing their best.
they are choosing their
So you
best.
come back to the same thing all
you-
over.
You run, and then you realize that you are not getting a school.
So,
Mama,
Mr.
just
Be-
a moment. And you see that what my sister said here, in declaring the vacancies, we also declare them in program-based.
Okay.
For example, if I have 200 spaces
Okay.
for boarding, how many, and let's say for boys, and then say another 250 for girls.
Okay.
Now for the boys, how many of them do I think should be with us? Because we should spread them.
Okay.
I cannot pick all the 200 because I want 200 science students, all for science.
Okay.
So you spread them such that science, you give a certain quota,
Okay.
business, a certain quota.
Okay.
So you see that because of that, somebody would come and will be in the boarding house whose raw score or whose aggregate is higher, let's say aggregate 7,
Okay.
and another student gets 6. You say why 7 got placed and
Yes.
6 did not get. The 7 possibly offered a particular program.
Oh.
Because in Wesley Grammar School last year, general arts being oversubscribed, I asked for 360. Science I asked for 150. And then general Greek, we requested for 40.
Okay.
So you see that 360, you get more students who the grade will go a little higher.
Okay.
As against the 150. So you come and say, you got aggregate 10, you didn't get Wesley Grammar School. Somebody got, let's say, aggregate 15 and got. The person requested for business, general arts. And general arts, we took
There were a
more
lot more
because
people.
oversubscribed.
Okay.
So the grade will definitely possibly go up a little as against
Oh, okay.
science.
So, as a parent, what should I do? I do not know all about all these things. What do I do in the selection of the school, number 1, number 2, the course for my ward?
So what I
Because
would
we are hearing this for the first time.
Yeah, so what I would say is that some basic schools are trying very well. That when the kids get to Form 3, they do a lot of education for the parents
Okay.
in the selection of their schools and the programs. And unfortunately, some parents do not have time
They are
to
not
go for
interested.
such programs. So when they are, there's no way the child or a teacher will just sit down and say, I'm picking this school for you. No.
It happens in some of the schools.
It happens because they call the parents and the parents do not go.
Oh, okay.
So they use their own
or discretion.
to give them schools. But when the issue starts coming, they will be in their homes and the parents will be running around. So as a parent, be interested when the students are, your ward is about to select the school. Go there, speak to. They also have counselors at the basic school.
Yes.
Speak to them. Let them. They should tell you more about the child.
Okay.
Sometimes you may not know, but let them tell you more about your child, and then let them educate you about the programs. Somebody will tell you that, Madam, this your girl. If you select St. Louis science, she will not get it. But she can do general arts. She can do general arts. And then when she's going to the university, she can maybe divert or do whatever.
Okay.
The possibilities are there because all the courses, if you want to be a dietitian, you can do home econs, you can do general arts, you can do science. So you give them the insights and then the parents will decide just one. And then the teachers will tell you, this school, don't go there because a lot of students will be selecting it. But when they want to give this kind of education, parents will not go. So they do whatever they want to do. Some are sure that, oh, if once I select the school, I'll get it.
Prophecy. There's actually a comment here from a basic school head teacher. He says, good evening, Mama Rita.
Good evening.
I'm a regular listener of your program, and this is another great one you have brought to us. School selection has been a headache to some of us at the basic level. To the best of my knowledge, the selection is done with parents in collaboration with teachers. But often, parents will come insisting on certain schools, which we know are very competitive. Maybe the child's academic performance wouldn't allow that, but the parents will just not listen. They even tell you that you don't have faith like they do. This is coming from the Ashanti region. And he concludes with a hashtag. He says, let education flow.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
And then let me also bring this one in. So in the selection of the schools, yes, you are supposed to select one grade A school and then 2 grade B school.
Okay.
Even the arrangement is another factor.
Wow.
Yes. So somebody selects a school, grade A school.
Okay.
Then comes to B. B, you may have Ghana National there.
Okay.
You may have Ganata. You may have another school.
Okay.
And then the child selects a school.
Okay.
A school. And then you realize that the child is placed there. And then the parents will start making noise. No, we don't want this school. But sometimes they don't even check from the placement form they are holding.
What they chose. I think
what
their concern is always the first choice.
Yes, they don't look at it.
They don't look at the second and the...
Yes, some will come and tell you that, no, we didn't select this program. Then we tell them, no, computer doesn't change programs for students. They don't change any school for. This is what you did. You pick it and that is how the arrangement is. So the arrangement also counts. The arrangement of the schools will count.
So how do you arrange the schools, Mr. Baidu?
Okay. Mama, you see, like we are saying, you've chosen where we have the classification of the schools. Now, when you come to the even the grade A schools, if you ask, somebody who will do with their grade A school will also have their own kind of classification, putting one school ahead of the other.
Okay.
In the same vein with the grade B school, you can have a classification where there's a grade B school which is ahead of another grade B school. So once you know that grade B school 1 is ahead of grade B school 2, then what it means is that you cannot take grade B school 2 first, and then bring grade B school 1 second. Naturally, you have missed the...
So on the form, does it say grade?
It doesn't say which one is ahead of
So
which
how
one.
would you know as a parent?
That's why the head teacher was saying that when you tell the parents, they will not listen to you. Because the teacher the head teacher and the staff who always helps in doing the selection, they know the schools.
But Mr. Bedu, during our time, I remember there was a printout that had almost all the schools, their classification.
It's still there. But what we are saying is that the printout will not tell you that grade B, this is grade B1, this is grade B2.
Oh, okay.
It tells you all these are grade B schools.
Okay, but the
So that's what I'm saying, that how will the parent know?
When they talk with the basic school teachers.
Sometimes the basic school teachers do not know.
So then we have to find a way.
Because I think that we
knowing.
need education on these things. Here, I handle, I handle the students all the time. And church members will come with the parents. The parent doesn't know, like you are saying, maybe she was called into the school and she didn't go. They choose Achimota first. Second choice, infant sipping.
You don't get a school.
You know
Third choice, at this adult.
No.
So
You
who
don't want to
chose
go to
this
school.
for you? My teacher. So I'm thinking that from the basic school, the teachers themselves should be educated.
Mama, the teachers, most of them know what they are doing.
They know.
But like we started from the beginning saying that it's a collaboration between
Okay.
the parent and the school. So if you are invited and you go, and the teacher who is handling your ward tells you A, B, C, you get the report from the school, so you can also see that what the teacher is saying is true. Now we have to select school. The teacher will help you if you don't agree. I guess some of us, apart from those who for some reason could not go to school, some of us have mates at our level who we can go to, or for some of us too, there are schools just close by where you live. You drive past those areas, just pass by, do your inquiry and say that, oh, can I see the head or can I see the guidance and counseling
Okay.
teacher here?
Okay.
I want to select a school for my ward. Help me out. You see, there are places
Okay.
we can definitely, we may not find it everywhere,
Okay.
but there are places,
There are places you can-
get some information. You can even go to GES.
Okay?
There are district education officers, there are municipal education officers. There
That are
we have,
available.
regional officers,
Okay.
yes. They have people there, you can go. They
So
will
please,
walk
you are
through.
listening to us. There's information. You can drive past a school in your neighborhood and say, I want to select a school. And it's always important to go for a second opinion where your child goes to school. The teachers or the headmaster says she must choose this school or he must choose this school by all means. You can go for a second opinion. Drive past another JHS school and talk to the guidance and counseling, and go to that place and say, my ward is about to choose a school. So with me, when you come to me, I make you come with the child's reports. And then we discuss. And we say, looking at this report, listen, I think this school will be okay. No, the child can't do science. But like you are saying, some parents will say, I want my child to do science by all means.
Meanwhile, it's not the parent who is going to offer the program. You see, so we should also guide, we are there to guide.
Okay.
We should guide our children. Oh, I want to do A. Why do you want to do A, B, C, D? Oh, okay. Looking at this, why don't we do this? You talk through, and then you agree.
Okay.
Then you select the program. And even the subject selection, like my sister was saying, is also another thing. General arts, yes, but we run different combinations.
So you need to know.
Yes.
You want
Mommy,
to
and
do
there-
general
there, there are
arts.
quite a lot of questions coming in.
Wow.
One is related to what
Okay.
Mr. Bedu has just said. Says, good evening, Mama Rita.
Good evening.
Good work done. Mr. Bedu was my teacher way back in Holy School.
Holy Child.
Holy Child, sorry.
Because you
Cape
didn't
Coast.
go there.
My fault, not going on this. Holy Child School, Cape Coast. And the name is Nana Ama Anan.
Wow.
Please, my daughter wants to be an architect in future. May I please know what course she should choose going into the high school?
Well, she should choose science, but the combination, the science we know is physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics. But other schools have the physics with geography, with mathematics, with art. So maybe if she has a school of choice, she would have to pass by there and ask for the combination
Okay.
they are offering. And then also with architecture, just go to the architectural department of KNUST and find out
Yeah.
the subject combination.
Because
the
like you
subject
mentioned, I'm
areas.
sure some of the specific subjects, it could
Yeah.
even be through
Yeah.
business
Yeah.
or general arts.
That's it. So once she gets to know the department, what the department would want the student to know, then she finds out that I want my daughter to go to school A, pass by and find out that do they have this combination.
So it all boils down to parents taking
Taking
interest
time.
in
Take
everything.
interest in,
Wow.
in
But
what,
on the form, why don't they also write
but we
the...
can't. It will be verbose. Sorry, it will be very big,
Voluminous.
voluminous.
You know, during our time when we used to write the O-levels, you could go to WAEC and then you could buy the syllables. Why can't they do something like that? Not on the form, but separately. There's a book you can buy where it offers the school and the combination of subjects.
The combinations are
A lot. But if I don't know my child is going to Achimota, all I know is that she's doing general arts, only to get there to know that, oh, you can't do geography and literature.
Not that you can't do geography and literature. You see, GS has given us, you need a certain number of students to be able to have a teacher. So I cannot have a class only 2 students and then 1 teacher. It's not possible. You see, so the schools, because of that and the numbers, do certain combinations. So
No,
you
but what
cannot
I'm
get-
saying is, if I don't know, how do I choose Holy Child for my child? I get there and I have no idea. All I know is that she's going to do general art.
Yes, so like I said, if you want your ward to go
Then
to
you
Holy
must
Child,
go there.
Then you have to find out what are the general arts
Okay.
combinations. No, it's just a phone call away. It's
I
just a
can
phone-
pick the phone and call Holy Child.
Yes.
Mommy, on the other hand,
Mr. Beidu,
You
you are of a different generation.
you can also find out from, I'm sure that if you want your daughter to go to Holy Child, you might get one of the students in this church
Okay.
who is attending school there. So you can find out from, you are offering general arts, what are the subject combinations that you have there? Then the girl will give you the different. So the child, your daughter or your son can be doing some of these things also. And then knowing the subject combinations that will lead you to read certain programs. So when you go online, all
The
these
universities, yeah.
are there. You just go to tech and then you want to do this one, they will tell you the subjects that you need to offer, the cutoff point for last 2 years, last year, and all those
And
things.
that's the next thing we are going to do. We are going to bring maybe a lecturer or from the academic office in the universities to also tell us, I want to do this course. What is the cutoff point? What should be my subject combination in the
Senior high school.
senior high school? I think it's something. And I hope parents are listening. So it means that right from the
Parents will have to be interested.
you must have the interest right from the JHS level. You must know, yes, my child wants to go to this school. This school, what are the subject combination? I want her to do government. I want her to do history. Can you combine government and history? I mean, these are things that you must know. Some schools, you must do straight science, chemistry, biology. Other schools, you can do physics and another subject. These are things that you need to know when you have to choose. Before we go to the questions, I know in a school like Wesley Girls, after the students get to school, now there's an examination. Yes, you want to do science, but they do an exam to know whether you qualify to be in the exams class, whether you qualify to be in the general science class, whether you qualify. Is there anything like that in all the schools? Can I choose science, go back, get to the school, and think that, no, I think that I made the wrong choice. I want a change. Can I change?
Mama Rita, for now, with the policies we have, what you are saying about Wesley girls, I don't know for now, but I think they can't do it.
Oh, okay.
Because the children have selected programs, you don't change it for them. What I'm saying is that
You
that
don't,
we
I
come
see.
in, then you write an exam to replace them. No, if it is still there, I cannot vouch and say
Okay.
it. Yes.
Okay.
But again, like I said, you see that we declare vacancies.
Okay.
So we want a certain number of business students, a certain number of general arts students, a certain number of visual arts students. Then you come in with visual arts. Then you want to go and read science, or
Okay.
you come out with science and you want to go to visual arts. Most of our schools, we don't change programs. We
Okay.
only do it based on if there's the opportunity.
Okay.
And if you are a student, I want to go to science, and there's a science student who wants to go to visual art, we
Okay.
can do that swap.
Okay.
But we will not increase the number of students in the science class. Don't
Okay.
forget also that for some programs, some people will tell you that, oh, don't worry, as for home econs, people don't like it, so you choose it. When you get there, you can change.
Okay.
You don't come
Yes,
in
yes,
through
yes.
that when somebody did not get science because there was competition there. And then for maybe here, because it is a skill, it wasn't that keen. So you came in with a double digit. And then somebody didn't get science because they were all single digits. Then you come and then you think you want to change.
It's not fair.
It's not fair.
So most schools will not do it for you. But where there are vacancies,
Wow.
it is easy to, other than that, you have a challenge with your class size.
We will go to Ask Mama Rita. I know there are
Yeah.
lots
There are
and
a lot
lots
of
and lots
questions
of
and
questions.
time is
And our
flying.
time is, oh my God. But we might have to do a part 2 next
Yeah.
week because
Yeah.
a lot of the things I'm also learning today.
That's true.
You know, because I get students in church coming to see me all the time. I want to choose the school, what subjects should I do, and all that. So it's coming very, very handy.
Now
for
when they
me
come,
to-
we'll just give them the link to this episode for them
yeah.
to go and watch.
Yeah, people
All right.
should be interested. They should be interested in what happened.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them have been given schools and they go saying they don't like the schools. But they chose them.
They chose them. They don't even remember they chose them.
Yes.
All they remember is the first.
First choice.
Wow.
Yes.
And that's going to be the first question. Well, keep your questions coming through +233-200-515-253. As Mama Rita has just mentioned, keep them through. If we are not able to address them today, definitely next week we are going to touch on them. And I want to say thank you to Ohini Manche for this outfit. The first question says, can my ward choose a school twice? Like choosing Achimota for first and Achimota for second, and also as a compulsory day school. Hey, after all we said.
Well, like we said, Achimota is a grade A school,
Yeah.
and it can only be chosen as a first choice school.
Okay, so now there's no opportunity to even
so you
do that.
cannot choose Achimota first and Achimota second. But because Achimota is day boarding, you still can choose Achimota at the compulsory day section.
Okay. Somebody adds a note and says, architectural students can actually offer variety of courses and still end up there. Even visual art can take you there, so long as you have the elective maths as an addition. So that's an addition to what Mr. Beidu mentioned.
I hope you won't get there. They will say you need one science subject.
That's why you need. That's why I said elective maths.
Okay.
Yes, that combination. This question says, good evening and thanks for this program. I am watching from Paga Sirgu.
Wow.
I want to know, can the environment influence an individual's learning and opportunity into a particular school? Because children from my town should also be encouraged to get into the top schools. But usually, the placements to these schools are offered to the best grade results students. Paga Sergo Cherempone.
Yeah.
Oh, I think there is a certain, I'm not too sure about the percentage,
30%.
but there's a certain percentage. So I've forgotten the term that is used. There's a certain percentage
For less
for,
endowed.
yes, Mama,
Okay.
that's
Or
the
deprived
lesser.
communities.
Yes, yes. So it's there. I don't know how, but that opportunity is there.
Mama, do you know about it?
So less endowed from public schools.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You should be from
Okay.
a public
It's a-
school.
from a
And
public
even those in the cities, the public schools are given that advantage.
Good.
So last year you could hear people saying that this person, I had this grade, I wasn't selected. This
and
one
somebody
is
had
down.
15.
Yes, the public schools were considered.
Okay.
Yes, so it's possible.
Okay.
For them to also
So
come.
it's possible wherever, you
wherever you
are,
are. You
provided the child does well a bit.
Yes.
Yes.
I know somebody, one of our churches, in one of these less endowed communities, did so well. She went to a public school, had, I think, aggregate 8. She's in Achimota now.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter where you are. The only thing is that you must give the child extra tuition how do I put it? Get the cutoff points. So assuming they are taking for the preparatory and the private schools up to aggregate 12, and the public schools up to aggregate 15, you must make sure that that child makes aggregate 15 to be able to go
Mama,
to a grade A
the
school.
placement uses raw score, not aggregate.
Oh, okay, raw score,
The
yes.
raw score,
Yeah.
because you know that the grade 1 is a range,
Yes,
grade
yes.
2 is a range.
Okay.
So somebody can have, let's say, aggregate 8,
Yes.
but the raw score is better than somebody with aggregate 6 because all the maybe 4 grade
Made
1s and
80%.
then, yes, were within the 80s and 90s, whereas the other one will be on the borderline of say 70. So when we sum them up, you will think that this person got 9 and I got 6, but the person has been given the same program I did not get. It is because the raw score is higher because the marks were higher.
I remember our son, who is a pastor today, Pastor Papa, chose Achimota. And we were so scared because he got aggregate 8. His sister made 9 ones. So when he got aggregate 8, we were very worried. And we thought he won't make it to Achimota. Finally, Achimota, we were there when we realized that Achimota had admitted him. So we were wondering, how did he make it to Achimota? Then the headmistress said to us, his raw score was higher than somebody who made, like I say, 6 ones. So these are things we must know as parents. Don't always look at somebody's aggregate and say, the person made aggregate 10, and my daughter made aggregate 8, and got the school and I didn't. They are looking at raw score. Raw score means that your total, mathematics, you made 85%, English, 95%, chemistry,
Social studies.
Social,
So you the core
the core.
The core.
So
Math,
this
English, social studies.
social studies
and science.
and
Yeah,
science.
And science. Yeah.
So this is what they are looking at.
So I want to add this one. Apart from the raw score, where there's a tie,
Okay.
they also use the grades. The grades, the number of ones that you had.
Okay.
So somebody had 6.
Okay.
You also had 6.
6. Okay.
But your 6, one of the ones was in the electives. The other one had all the core 111.
Okay. Okay.
So the one who had one
More with the
single
core.
ones will be selected. And then you who had maybe 2 in English will not be selected.
Okay.
So that's another one.
Okay.
And then the program will also determine the
Okay.
program you want to offer. If you are looking at 4 core subjects and 2 electives, and you had core maybe 111, and then your electives, you had religious and moral education 1, and then you had 1. You want to go and read, say, science. Somebody had a score, but the person did well in ICT.
Okay.
Or one other subject.
Okay.
Then preference will be given to the one whose elective subject was better
Okay.
than the tree. And because
Okay.
if you are going to read science,
Okay.
they will not consider tree as a very special
Okay.
subject
Okay.
in there. So these things are also
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, time is going.
Auntie Sisi from Sunyani says, I followed you to Obuase.
Wow.
I was amazed how people express their love to you and Papa AG.
Hey.
She says, God bless you, especially how the youth received you and Daddy is amazing. Continue doing this great work.
Thank you.
Kwame Asamoah also says, you are doing a very wonderful work. I really appreciate the time and dedication to us. We are far, but we are benefiting. Not many people can do this and remain consistent. And he continues and says, the content today is just better and better as usual. We have a question which is related to the introductory part of our conversation. Says, good evening, Mama Rita.
Good evening.
God bless you for this program. I have a niece who was isolated by the parents because she was bedwetting. I think this is somebody in their teenage. I took her in and helped her through counseling to stop bedwetting. But in the process of doing this, she is now taking everything in my house outside and telling people about a lot in my home. Then says, is it wrong if I send her back to her parents because I am only a teacher in the community who has decided to offer help?
Well, I would say that what was the aim of bringing the girl, the child to the home? And once you have achieved that aim, and that was also the reason why the child was being isolated, in my opinion. I don't think that if she goes back, it's wrong. That's my opinion.
So I hope you heard our headmaster. You brought her into your home for a reason. Has that reason been achieved? Has she stopped wetting her bed? If she has, you could take her back to her parents. But I think that before you take her to her parents, you need to sit her down and let her know you really wanted to have her as her daughter. But unfortunately, because of habit A, B, C, and D, for all we know, she doesn't even know she has that habit. Or for all we know, from where she was coming from, people used to talk loosely. So she thinks that, you know, it's a lifestyle. I could also do the same thing. If you've corrected her on a few instances and she's still doing it, let her understand that this is the reason why you are sending her back to her parents' home.
Great. Someone says the percentage that Mr. Bedu was talking about is actually termed as 30% catchment area. Okay. This question says, is coming from Matthew. Matthew says, I once heard a parent denying a child from pursuing home economics because the parent said he had been told the cost involved in doing that program was too high. The child still feels devastated. I want to find out, is this the case?
Yes. It's yes and no. Home economics is a practical subject.
Okay.
And you will need all the equipment and all the tools to be able to go through. The syllabus they are using doesn't ask them to buy all the items the very day that they come to Form 1 and then start using them.
Okay.
No, they
As
use
and
it
when.
as and when they are treating that topic. So it is the arrangement that the teacher will have with the parents that will work. Why some teachers are forcing parents to buy all the items, the reason is that for some parents, once the students are in the school, that ends it.
They won't buy anything
They will
again.
not do it. They will not do it. They will not buy them. And it makes their work very difficult.
Okay.
It comes to a point where they are running a practical and some students are sitting somewhere, not part of
They
it.
don't have
Because
the
she doesn't
tools.
have the
Because she
thing.
doesn't have it. So teachers will force them to buy the things. But if you're a parent and you don't have all the money, you can go to the, the teachers and then you talk to them. And then they can assist you. You can buy this set for now. You can, then you buy this one too. If you want to deny the child from getting the things that she needs, then at that point where they are running a practical lesson, and you know when they are doing this, they bring external supervisors. Even in our homes, when we are cooking and somebody comes in, you tend to, maybe either you are scared or something, so you try, you put this one here. So when they see the external supervisors, you see the students working in that fear. But when they have handled the tools, right from Form 1, Form 2, they become conversant with them, and then they feel so relaxed when they see external people in there. So it is best, if you don't have the money, you can go to the school and arrange with the teachers. That is what I can afford. And then you can go through. Because once the child has the interest, you need to help the child. You need to help the child.
I will also add that, you see, a lot of parents look at it with the same eye they look at the catering students at the Polytechnic. It is not like that.
It's not like that.
It's a senior high school. It's just the basics. So the things they use are not that expensive as we look at it with the Polytechnic, the catering, and what have you. And then for most of the schools, a lot of the things the students will use, the department has them. Yes. So it's just a few that they will add. Even when it comes to the practical, as Madam is saying, looking at what they are doing, how much, if it is, how much money will you spend? Sometimes it's a teamwork. That the 5 of us, we need tin tomatoes. So they buy the sachet. Just a teaspoon is what we are going to use, but it's not that expensive.
There's a question here from Takradi Gifty. She says, "Good evening, Mama Rita. Very educative section today. God bless you, Mommy. Many choose certain courses and schools not necessarily being interested in it, but just to get public acceptance. My question is it advisable to choose a course based on your score during BCE? Because I remember way back when people would choose science, not because they are interested in it, but affluence made them pick up such choice. But along the line, they find themselves stranded and dropping down in their GPA."
That's true.
Yes, you see, like we said, I want my son to do this. I
Science,
want
biology.
my daughter to do that. Again, it's a conversation. You are not going to read the subject.
You are not going to study for...
Yes, it is the child. So we, as parents, will have to understand and accept the fact that this is what my ward would want to do. I'm not the one going to do it. Parents come and say, my child cannot do this. So you are not the one going to do it. So we should allow the children to make choices, and we guide and walk them through so they can be happy with what they do, not because daddy wants me to do it.
All right, we have another question here coming from one of our listeners. Says, if a child goes to a school and reports being bullied, can this warrant a change of school? If yes, what is the process?
It's possible. It's possible. If the situation is so bad that the child cannot contain it again, then you have to report to the authorities.
Okay.
And then the school can help you to write when the parents can write a letter to the school that this is the situation.
Okay.
Because of this one, my child she can't come to the school again.
Okay.
So we'll make reference to what you have written, and then we'll write it to head office. And if it is possible, they change it there.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they
so
change
GES
it.
would.
Yes. So I
Because
remember.
bullying is not allowed.
Okay.
Yes. I remember last year I had 2 girls from one of the schools, and they were placed in the school from head office.
Okay.
Because of the issue, what
Okay.
happened.
Okay.
And then they came to the school.
Oh,
So it
okay.
is possible.
They came to Form 1 or Form 2?
Form 2.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they realized that if they allow them to be at where it's not going to help
Okay.
them, so they have
Okay.
to change school for them.
Okay.
So it's possible.
So what do? Do you go to GIS or you have to write to the school first?
You report to the school.
Okay.
We'll investigate.
They
and then
find out, and then based on our findings, we can also write
Recommend.
and then recommend
Okay.
that the child should.
Be changed. Okay.
should-
Because
should-
we got the impression that once you enter into a school, it can be changed. You can't move from Form 1 to another school, Form 2.
It's possible.
No, transfers
It's
are
possible.
done.
Okay.
But per policy, you don't transfer into the final year.
Okay.
So you can transfer at the end of the first year. You can transfer from school A to school B, starting the second year. But when you are in the second year and you are going to the third year, you cannot transfer
Okay.
because transfers are not done into final year.
Okay.
And then also, per policy, you transfer across grades.
The grade, yes.
Grade A to grade A,
Okay.
grade A to grade B or C, but not from C to B, B to A. No,
Okay.
that is not done.
Okay.
But A to A, B to B, C to C,
Okay.
or you can come down, A to
Okay.
B, and then you transfer with your status.
Okay.
If you are
day student.
you are a boarding student, you transfer with boarding. You are a boarding student, you can transfer to day, but I cannot transfer day to boarding.
Okay.
So, assuming that I'm a day student, or my ward is a day student, and I realize that the home environment is not conducive for her to be a day student, can I, because I had a chance where the parents are divorced, but they perpetually quarrels, and it was affecting the child academically. Eventually, we spoke to the school and the school agreed. But is it that easy? I think that the child is a day student, but looking at the environment and, you know, the conduciveness of the home, the child can concentrate to study. Can I discuss this with the headmistress or the headmaster? Or I have to go through GES?
You first discuss with the head. You see,
Okay.
it all has to do with vacancies.
Okay.
So if the school has a vacancy in the boarding house,
Okay.
then we will go to GES together
Okay.
and have it done.
Okay.
But where the school has exhausted all the boarding spaces, then you cannot be held. But if it gets to the school and the head knows that, oh, there's a vacancy,
Okay.
then the nursery support will be given to you, the nursery letters will be written, the request will be placed, and it will be done for you.
Well,
I think we can take a question or two.
yeah,
Ooh.
just one.
When the
Yeah,
thing
'cause-
is interesting, that's when the time flies.
And We actually have a lot sending questions that relate to completing SHS and selecting schools for either university or the other post-secondary institutions. Next week, we are going to address all of those questions. So please keep them coming in through the channels available on your screen, +233-200-515253. You can also use the hashtag #AskMamaRita across all media platforms, and we are going to pick them and address them next week. This is
And
an
then
interesting
another
one.
thing we'll also be doing. Now, a lot of the Ghanaian students want to study abroad.
Yeah.
So if we get somebody, we want to also look at the possibilities. What do you do? Where do you go? What kind of examination must you write? Where do you go to write the exam? Are there scholarships, you know,
How do you assess
available?
them?
We will look at all these things. Now, Ghana is becoming very, very complex. Gone are the days where we finish SHS and then we have to go to the university here by all means. These days, the children want to travel out. They finish a first degree. They want to do their masters outside. So if we get endowed people, we will also go into that.
Yes, this one says, I am Aaron from Takrade. In fact, Mama Rita, this is a great job you are doing for families, parents, and students.
Thank you.
The Ministry of Education, Ghana Education Service, and WAEC should send you some money as sponsorship for this program.
I receive it.
Because you are doing
Well spoken.
because you are doing what they have failed to do. That's an interesting one.
Very
Aaron, thank you.
interesting.
And then this probably will be our final question. Says, prior to the writing of the BECE exams, can a parent or a teacher make changes to the selection and choices made? BECE is yet to be written. They probably may have done the selection or they are above.
I don't think they've done it.
They haven't done selection.
Oh, okay.
They've not done selection.
But says if it is done
Yes.
and they notice corrections they want to do,
Yes.
can they do it before,
Yes,
right?
They-
yes.
they
There-
have
there's a window. They give them a window. They give them a short code. You go there, you see the choices, and if you want to make a change, you
Amendment.
can make a change.
Oh, great.
Again, like we always say, parents are not interested.
Wow.
So there are a lot of things that are available, but because parents are not interested,
Is it because they are not interested or they don't even know at all?
Some do not know.
some do not know, and
Some do
are
not
not.
know. And then some too, when they have finished with the first selection, and then the second opportunity is given to them to check. This is the time their children do the changes without their knowledge. So my friend tells me that I'm going to Agri Memorial. Then quickly she
They go and
changes
do
from
adjustment.
Also,
what
without
the
the
mother
parents
did to
even
Agri.
knowing.
So it will come to that point, and then the mother will say, "No, I didn't select this one, but it is there." And computer will never change any school for anybody. So this is what happens. We are given the opportunity to do that. Yeah.
Please share the link with parents, with teachers, with communities, your churches, wherever. This is very educative, and you may be saving someone's future. Mama Rita and your guests, over to you.
Mr. Baidu and my headmistress, if there's any closing remarks, we should have closed at 8:30, but we've added about 20 more minutes because it was getting very interesting. Please let your questions flow. We'll see how many questions we have, and then we'll decide what we want to do coming Wednesday. But I think that we'll do a part 2 of this, and then after the part 2, we'll also move into the university, from SHS to the university. What are the universities to choose, the cutoff point, the courses, and all that. We will go into it before we even start on the temperaments. I hope I didn't cut you on what you want. Okay.
So what I would say is that we are so happy to be here because this program is going to make our work a bit easy this year
Yeah.
or next year. The second one is that we want to plead with parents that they should never ever leave the selection in the hands of the teachers and then the awards. They should be interested. They should be interested. They should know where they want their children to go. They should know the programs that they are selecting, not because a friend is taking the daughter to this school, so I also want my daughter to go to the same school. Look at your daughter's strength. Look at what the child wants to do, and then help the child in this direction. And when you do it, you will sit in your home, you will use the code, and you realize that the course that you selected is there, the school is there, and you'll be at peace. Else you'll be moving up and down every
and
now
it's so
and then.
stressful.
Very stressful.
Not for the parents alone, but for we as pastors.
Yes, very stressful.
You should see the parents and the children coming to us and crying.
Yes.
And expecting us to perform magic.
Yes, so that is one. And the second one that I want to say is that about the upbringing of our kids. Please, our teenagers, when you bring them to us, just support us to mold them the way they are supposed to be. If you want to use them, if you want to cover them, you wouldn't know the actual children you have in your homes because they have different faces. And if you also do that one, you realize that your children will come up the way you want it, and you always be proud of them. So they should help us in our schools, they should support us, and always visit the kids when they are in school. Look for a teacher, and then be calling the teacher every now and then to find out what is happening in their school. And we all have a better place to live in the near future. Thank you very much.
Mr. Baidu.
Well, I will add that for our BECE candidates and their parents, I would want to tell parents that selecting schools is a serious business and they should be seriously interested. And they shouldn't do it alone, they should do it with their children so that whatever choice is made, the child is happy, the parents are also happy. And parents are to guide their children, not tell them that I want you to do this when the child doesn't want to do it. You convince, you talk to them. Like we said, they are teenagers and they are the conflict. They are adults, they are children. So when we talk to them, we give them that space, we listen to them, we derive the benefit, we get what we want, and they also get what they want. So parents should be interested, and like my sister said, they shouldn't leave it to the schools, and we will all be happy.
Parents, be interested. Be interested. Next week, I think that with what they have said, would also need somebody from the JHS department, you know, the junior high school.
The basic level.
Pardon?
The basic level.
From the basic level to also come and talk to us, you know, what to do as parents when our children are going to write BECE, and also what they can do to help us when it comes to the choice of schools and then the choice of subjects. But until then, I want to say a very, very big thank you to my headmistress, Madam Philomena Owusu-Ansah, and then also to Mr. Charles Baidu from Wesley Grammar School. I mean, listening to them, you can see that they are knowledgeable. I mean, they know their stuff. They are up their game. They know what they are about. If only you would listen to them. Somebody must tell somebody to listen to this program. And in helping our children, my darling, you don't need to have a classmate. You don't need to have a classmate. Whether you've gone to school or not, I think that whichever school your children are, you could go to the school and say that I haven't been, I don't know the kind of schools to choose for my child. My child is going to the secondary school. What do I do? My child says she wants Wesley Girls. Do you think that she qualifies to go to Wesley Girls, or I should choose Wesley Grammar? talk to the headmasters and the headmistresses of the school, and then I think they'll be there to help us. But before we close, first I want to say a very happy birthday to one of my team members, Pastor Patrick Mantin.
Hey.
Celebrated his birthday yesterday. And today, he's celebrating his wedding anniversary. And I think that we need to give a shout and a clap. He arrived yesterday night from the UK.
It's a big man.
And I was telling him I would meet him on Sunday. And he said, Mommy, I'm not meeting on Sunday. I have work to do today.
Wow.
Today, I'm coming to the studio. And he's here this evening to do his work. Pastor Pa, God bless you so much. And you were such a blessing in UK, in training our choirs and leading worship almost every day of the convention. God bless you. I believe the UK will remember you. Until then, I want to say a good night to all my listeners and all the people who are watching across the nations. Let your questions continue to flow, and next week we will answer them. God bless you and have a good night. From my team, Powerline TV, Family Life with Mama Rita, we say God bless you and have a good night.